Oh, really? Yeah. Hmm. Hi. How's it going? Hi. I thought that was you jingling down the hall. Well, maybe you should take them out of your pocket. Oh, I thought you said they were in your pocket, so you sit on them. Ooh, big group today. That's lovely. Nate, tomorrow's the big day. His college decision. You did it? What'd you pick? Nice. Oh, hence the shirt. I didn't even. It's very obvious now.
Do that on. I'm in that face. I'm in my work.
I like that one. That's today's. It's basically like if you had a different face, I would have a different life.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one.
It's a good one. What did you just take? Why? What are you doing with them?
Troy, can you throw me one of the hand sanitizers?
Huh?
Throw me a hand sanitizer.
They're probably all in his pocket.
Which one is it?
You gave him the sparkly one. Troy, I remember one time when you were in the 9th grade, you,
Call me names.
no, none of that happened. You had something in the pocket of your hoodie and you approached me ominously and you were like, I have something for you. And I was like, what is it? And I think you just said it's cocaine. And I was like, in what kind of container? That's a very square thing. And you asked me if I wanted it medium rare or fresh, which is not a way you take cocaine as far as I know. And then you put your hand in your pocket, and it was actually the To Kill a Mockingbird book that I had been bothering you to bring back for like 4 months. Power School is down today, unfortunately. Like, you got to put your hands up if you're going to catch it. I'm actually very surprised. That went better than I thought it would. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's fake. The big one's real.
Big one is real?
Mm-hmm. It's a snake plant. They're so easy to keep alive. Oh, we were talking about my snake plant. His name is Eddie.
I'll congratulate Eli on
I saw that.
winning the thing. Yeah, did you read that product? It was really good. I read it.
Okay, let me get these folks in here. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got to take attendance manually today because Power School is being poopy. Okay, English 4. Wish I could just remember all of you in order. Ian is here presently. Corey is here virtually. I don't know who's third. Christian, probably. Christian is here virtual. I don't know why I'm bothering to do it in alphabetical order. I just would feel better if I did. Oh, you know what? I know who's not here. Sterling and Hayward. Sterling's almost always here, so that is a little surprising. Sterling and Hayward, and maybe they'll show up. Eli's here virtually. Eli, congratulations. You won the vote for best capstone project. That's exciting. On Darius virtual, Troy present, Brendan present, Chip present, Ian I already said, and Nate present, and me present.
Thank you very much, by the way.
Of course, that's very exciting. Well done. All right, so Power School is just not going to happen for me today, unfortunately. It's having issues everywhere, but if the others come, then we'll figure it out. What just happened? Capstone was rigged. Well, first of all, don't you think Eli deserved it? But also, how would it be rigged? Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Sterling just posted or just emailed me that he can't get into the class and like he's having issues. Christian should have won. Christian, what did you do for yours? I didn't even see yours. I mean, I'm sure I could still go look. He didn't do anything?
I don't think he did anything.
They're saying you didn't do anything.
Oh, did you crack the capstone?
Yeah, but he texted me too. You should text me though.
All right, you know what? How do I find the, I'm sure they're in the Allegro shared folder.
People be texting me like, okay, the message that I send.
Oh,
The
this is
message
not
that I
it.
send to more Allegro students that text me other than anything else is just email the teacher. Because y'all ask me questions that it's just like, just email the teacher. I don't know. Like Sterling hit me up and he was like, how many words are supposed to be on the essay? I was like, I don't know. Go email her and tell me.
Okay, I'm trying to find my Allegro shared folder. There we go. I don't know where to find them. Tell you what, we can maybe look at some senior projects. I think that what we're doing today won't take ages. It shouldn't. So if we have some time at the end of class, we can do that. Let me email Sterling back real quick.
Even though the different people graded it.
Y'all hear them talking about you?
I got 12 points. You didn't go walk. Go walk.
He really walking.
What?
Like Jason had to do his capstone was Carlson. He said he hated it. He been doing it.
Who said that?
Carlson was so tough on you.
Because Carlson was doing too much. She was doing a little
She
too
was
much.
way too much.
I
when
think- I
she was
think
grading
some-
my paper. It was ridiculous.
I supposed to be dollar.
Like, bro.
I supposed to be dollar.
Does Carlson take yours?
Who dollar?
Okay. This is not working at all. My God.
You composed the whole song. What are you thinking about?
What?
You composed the whole song.
I composed a song, shot video, edited it all together, and she said, you didn't use enough critical thinking.
Okay. Let me, this is taking a minute, but I'll share my screen with y'all when I can.
You do.
I mean, very valid critique, she made, you know. I didn't do as strong on this project as I might would have liked.
Well, we just trying to graduate and go.
But
I swear, I threw the project together so fast.
Like at one point, my mom asked me, like, you sure you want to do this? I was like, nah.
As long as you passed, right? Did anybody not pass?
Now, as long as you pass the performance part.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it, transfer. I was really thinking about it.
Don't even, like, you passed, you know?
I turned it on.
As long as you pass, you know? You know what they say, D's get degrees, so.
the funniest part was like Mr. Gray graded mine, and he was like really nice to me. And
Yeah,
so
sure.
I was like, Miss Carlson, you're really out of pocket right now.
That's funny. Okay. Oh, here comes Andarius. He must have just gotten thrown out. Yeah. What are you doing for your performance? Okay. Yeah. That'll be good. Okay, let's go over today's assignment. It should not take you very long. I didn't grade anybody. It's all music, folks. Okay, so we're gonna look at two cartoons actually. And what you're gonna do with the cartoons is answer these 5 questions about each one. So all you're really doing today is answering 10 questions. But before we go over it, I want to kind of go over the 2 subjects that they're about. These cartoons are about the limits of science, or like the advances that we're making in science, which obviously goes really hand in hand with Frankenstein. I think that if somebody tried to reanimate a corpse these days, they'd have a lot better shot at it than, you know, someone in the 1800s, just because we have so much more scientific technology. But the 2 things that these are in reference to is genetic engineering. One of them, you can see here, shows President Obama blowing the dust off a science book the day after reversing the moratorium on embryonic stem cell research. I'll tell you more about that in just a sec. The second one illustrates a couple making a baby by mixing chemicals in a test tube. So for each cartoon, you're gonna, well, this says ask students to, you're gonna do this. And actually, you don't have to worry about like sharing it with a partner. We're not gonna do that, but you're answering 5 questions about each one. First of all, what's the dominant image in the cartoon and why? Number 2, what's significant about secondary images and text in the cartoon? So when you're looking at them, you know, obviously right here is the dominant image, but what's going on in the background once you look a little bit more closely? What is the cartoonist's point of view about his subject matter? What do you think they're trying to say? What is your opinion about the subject matter introduced by the cartoon? And after considering both cartoons and your opinion, write a thesis statement that supports, opposes, or argues a point about genetic engineering. So honestly, you're answering 9 questions. You're going to answer the first 4 for each one, and then you can pick whichever one and write a thesis statement about it. So this is also on Canvas, so you can like look at it. But I just want to kind of like go over really quickly. Huh? Well, this is one picture. Yeah. I just kind of want to like briefly go over what test tube babies are and what embryonic stem cell research is. So back before Obama was president, when George W. Bush was president, he passed a law that said we are not going to use embryonic stem cells for any scientific research. And then Obama reversed that and said we should. And it was very controversial at the time. Like I remember hearing a lot about this. So just to kind of like give you some background so that you can think about this if this is the one you're going to write a thesis statement about. Stem cells basically are the body's raw materials, cells from which all other cells with specialized functions are generated. Under the right conditions, either in the body or in a lab, stem cells divide to form more cells called daughter cells. I'm not going to go into all of this because I'm not a scientist. But why is there such an interest in stem cells? If we look at stem cells, we can increase our understanding about how diseases occur. We can generate healthy cells to replace diseased cells. That's called regenerative medicine. We can test new drugs for safety and effectiveness. There are such things as adult stem cells, but they're not as, like they don't last as long, and they tend to like break down more than embryonic stem cells. Embryonic stem cells come from embryos that are 3 to 5 days old. And the way that they are kind of taken is like if you are mixing up a chest tube baby.
They don't have belly buttons, weirdos.
No, they don't. Like Kyle XY, which is probably a show you've never heard of. In test tube babies, they like in a test tube, they mix a woman's egg with sperm, and like one of the eggs will be fertilized and put back in the woman so that she can grow a baby. That's what in vitro fertilization is. But then all the other eggs that were also fertilized can be used for embryonic stem cells. Like obviously she's not going to put all of the eggs back in her body. That would be insane. But the reason there is such a controversy about using embryonic stem cells is obviously because if they were if they were fertilized and put back in a woman, it could be a baby. So a lot of people obviously think that like if we're taking embryonic stem cells, then that is like, it's sort of like abortive, I guess. But they think that they shouldn't be used for research. So basically, and like again, we can use adult stem cells, and that's also good, but they're not as versatile or durable as embryonic stem cells. So you can kind of see both sides of that argument. Like on the science side, they're like you can do so much with embryonic stem cells and like learn so much and prevent diseases, and there's all this good stuff. But on the other side of things, on more like moral grounds, a lot of people oppose it because they think that like those stem cells could become babies. Yes, Troy. Huh? What's my stance on abortion? I can't tell you about that. Because that's not a thing that I'd be thrilled to hear y'all's opinions about it, but it's just one of those things that I can't. There's some, there's just some things that teachers can't talk about with their students. Okay, and we can talk about it, but let me finish going through this. A test tube baby is the product of a successful human reproduction that results from the methods beyond sexual intercourse between a man and a woman using medical intervention. And basically that's exactly what I said. Like in a test tube in a lab, they put eggs in a test tube, they put sperm in a test tube, they let them fertilize, and then the ones that are fertilized, or the one that's fertilized, they put it back in the woman so she can grow a baby. That's what in vitro fertilization is. So that's what we're dealing with in these two cartoons. And hopefully y'all can kind of see some connections to Frankenstein, because I feel like with so many scientific advances, people are trying to do the right thing. People are trying to make progress in the medical field or in the scientific field. But then like when you go too far, or when you go too far by some people's standards, it causes a controversy. And certainly like, Victor started out with good intentions. He was like, I don't ever want anybody else to have to go through the grief that I went through when my mom died. And like, if we can prevent death or, reanimate someone after they've died, then that sounds like a good thing. But he couldn't have foreseen all these things going wrong with it. He made a new person, yeah. And we don't even know, like, it doesn't specify in the book, like, how many parts of how many people is he using? Like, is it primarily one person, but like with a better heart, or what? Like, we don't know. So he just like, maybe he did find like a big dude. In the movie we're gonna watch when we come back from spring break.
Are we gonna watch it
After spring break, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be like our first thing. And so next week I'll have to get permission forms out for you. We're going to watch the movie when we come back from spring break. So I think next week I'll have to get permission forms out. Yeah, it's rated R. We're not even really allowed to show rated R movies, but because I'm skipping some of the upsetting stuff. Well, not everybody's 18, but also rules are just different in school. Like, even if you could get into an R-rated movie, that doesn't mean that I can show you an R-rated movie. So, I know. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean like side words?
I might just, what are the what?
Side parts?
Well, there's some sad parts, but the rated R are like the things that would be upsetting or that like parents would have an issue with. You see some monster butt for a minute, and maybe like a little bit of front stuff. Like it's from a distance, so you can't really tell, but like, you know, I get it. And there's like a pretty sexy scene between Victor and Elizabeth. So, yes. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen with you guys, or I'm gonna try to. What's going on here? Maybe I already did. Well, so the first 4 questions you're gonna answer about both of them, and then for the 5th question, you're gonna pick which one.
Are you still on Zoom?
I am still on Zoom. Let me just make this pass for Nate. I don't care what's new in eHall Pass. Just let me write my pass. I don't know why I was so whiny about that. Nathaniel.
Start this whole e-call pass system because we started skipping class and
I mean, that's part of it. People were like gathering in the bathroom.
I remember Connor went to a Birkin lunch.
What?
I remember Connor.
Oh, Connor Maloney?
Yeah, he left school with Birkin.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if I remember that in school. I remember you told me.
I would have started coming here as soon as I could.
I came out like second year. I will go check if I can first year before I got here.
That's a lot. I got here and that was the era change. When
Okay. So this is your only assignment for today. It shouldn't take you that long. Once you virtual folks are done, if you want to sign off, then you may do that. I'd recommend staying on until you get finished in case you have any questions. But it is due today. And like I said, it shouldn't take you very long. Shouldn't be an issue to finish it. But I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and turn my video off so it won't be a distraction to you guys.